For years, millions of viewers laughed with them, trusted them, and believed in the chemistry they saw on screen. But behind the tense, the cameras, and the carefully written lines of MASH, the story may have been far more complicated. Because sometimes, the strongest on-screen friendships hide the quietest tensions. Before the fame, before the global success, Alda was already carving out a path shaped by discipline and intellect. Raised in a theatrical family, he grew up around performance, learning early how storytelling could shape emotion. But his journey wasn't effortless. He worked through theater, small roles, and years of persistence before landing something truly defining. On the other side was Wayne Rogers, a performer with his own ambitions, his own vision of success. Like Alda, he had spent years navigating the unpredictable world of acting. But Rogers wasn't just focused on performance. He was deeply aware of business, contracts, and control over his career. Then came the breakthrough. MASH wasn't expected to become a cultural phenomenon. Set against the backdrop of war, it blended humor with something deeper, human vulnerability. Alda stepped into the role of Hawkeye Pierce, bringing intelligence, wit, and emotional depth that quickly resonated with audiences. Almost overnight, he became the central figure of the show. But that shift changed everything. According to those who worked on the set, the early dynamic between the cast was balanced. Multiple characters shared the spotlight, each contributing to the tone of the series. But as the show evolved, many believe the focus began to center more heavily around Alda's character. And that's where the tension quietly began. Wayne Rogers, who played Trapper John, was initially positioned as a co-lead. But as scripts developed, insiders have suggested that his role began to feel less prominent. It wasn't a sudden change, but a gradual one. Scene by scene, episode by episode. Those who observed the production recall subtle shifts, conversations about screen time, creative direction, and character development. It wasn't open conflict. It was quieter than that. A growing difference in expectations. One key moment often discussed is Rogers' decision to leave the show after just 3 seasons. At the time, it surprised many fans. Publicly, it was framed as a professional choice. But behind the scenes, some believe it reflected deeper frustrations about the direction the show was taking. Another moment came as Alda's influence grew, not just as an actor, but as a writer and director on the series. His creative control shaped the tone of later seasons, steering the show toward more serious, reflective storytelling. While many praised this evolution, others saw it as a departure from the original balance. There were also industry whispers, suggestions that not everyone agreed with the shift, that not every cast member felt equally represented in the changing narrative. But time has a way of softening stories. In later years, both men spoke about their experiences with a sense of professionalism. There was no public feud, no dramatic confrontation, just reflections, each shaped by perspective. Alda continued to build a remarkable career, becoming not only a respected actor but also a storyteller who influenced television in lasting ways. Rogers, meanwhile, found success beyond acting, stepping into business and building a different kind of legacy. Looking back now, the story isn't simply about conflict. It's about evolution, about how success can shift dynamics, how creative control can redefine relationships, and how, in an industry built on collaboration, balance is never guaranteed. Because sometimes, what appears to be tension is really transformation. And sometimes, the stories we never fully hear are the ones that shaped everything we saw. If this story gave you a new perspective on classic television, share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more cinematic documentaries uncovering the untold stories behind Hollywood's most iconic moments.